If you're a kid that grew up in the 80s or 90s, then you know Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was one of the most influential box office draws from both a comic, movie, TV series, and video game series of all time. It was a wave that if you weren't there, you may not know how just astronomically huge it was. And while you can go and look it up and, see videos where people are talking about, oh, well, it was a cool time, you won't have the understanding of how astronomical it was to be at that era. So with that being said, we got so many great beat 'em up games from arcade titles in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, there were 4 of them, all the way up to like home console ports like Turtles in Time and Hyperstone Heist that just completely redefined the genre. And it's been close to 30-something years since we've had an actually good Ninja Turtles game, which is kind of hard to say. I think there would be more titles in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise that would be great, but unfortunately, there haven't been any since Hyperstone Heist and Turtles in Time until now. With Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. Yes, I'm playing this on the Steam Deck. I have a Steam PC copy, and this game is absolutely freaking phenomenal. In this review, we're going to dive into that and so much more. So let's go ahead and get into it.
This wasn't written with your comfort in mind. Nah. Made my decision, wasn't tough to decide. Nah. Me and my boys, we get it done every time. Gotta earn it, you can't just jump in the line. You'll get rushed to the side. I top my division, I've been building since I started. In the parking lot, I parked it. I came in while picking targets. My career cannot be tarnished. I'm a champion regardless. Celebrate, but this a different kind of lucha party. We are not alike.
Before I kick off this video, I want to give a huge shout out and mahalo to Tribute Games as well as DotEmu for providing a review copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I'm reviewing this on the PC. I played it on my gaming desktop, my gaming laptop, and my favorite way of playing it right now is on the Steam Deck. I'm also going to be picking it up on the Nintendo Switch as well as on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox. And the reason I like to pick up games on multiple platforms, I've said it before in many videos, but I'll say it again here, is I like supporting the developers. When a game is this damn good, I'm going to support it because I want more of this. I want this to have DLC and additional content that just, like look at the games like Streets of Rage, like the base game when it came out, it was amazing. And then when the Mr. X Nightmare DLC came out, man, that changed the game substantially. So I want to support titles, especially when it comes from Tribute Games or DotEmu, because they just make phenomenal games. Anyways, yeah, we're going to talk about this game and so much more. We're going to talk about the gameplay, the graphics, the story. But really, I mean, this the only story you need to know is like Shredder's back following Hyperstone Heist and he wants revenge. So there's that. And we're going to talk about all the other good stuff. Before we do all that, make sure you sub to the channel, ding the notification bell, that we stay up to date on all the latest greatest content that comes from this channel. And if you want to support the content we do have channel memberships as well as Patreon with links to everything down in the description below. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, the review. If you play any of the arcade Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games or the home releases of Turtles in Time or Hyperstone Heist, then you'll have a general idea of what to expect in this game. Although that's a sample of what to expect, as this game offers way more than we've ever had in a Turtles game before. The controls are fairly simple with one button for attacks, jumping and double jumping and dodging, and you also have access to running by double tapping left or right. You have combo variations by combining the attack and dodge buttons as well as jumping, as well as anti-air rising attacks, rushing attacks following running, dive attacks following jumping, taunting which builds your special meter, and recovery options and tech throws should you get hit or knocked down. The depth of the gameplay is insane and invites you to constantly experiment and change up how you approach battles. Each of the characters plays fundamentally different from each other, as each character has their own unique stats from range, power, and speed. Leonardo is the most balanced all-around character, while Michelangelo has high speed but low range and mid-tier power, and April has the lowest power and low range, with the trade-off being the highest speed. My favorite character happens to be April, as she has so many moves borrowed from Street Fighter's Chun-Li and the Hong Kong twins Yin and Yang. With moves like the rising spinning bird kick and Akuma's dive kick, they're all just a treat to see and lets you know that the developers are passionate about not only the brawlers, but fighting games as well. There are only two modes of play, being story and arcade, with story having an overworld similar to the older Super Mario games, with you being able to move from level to level, as well as letting you know the collectibles and whatnot that are strewn across the levels and how many you've collected. The game has 16 levels total that each have various collectibles and secrets within them, along with stage challenges that you can complete by various circumstances, such as not getting hit or not using special moves, or by defeating excellent amount of enemies. Completing these challenges will gain you various stat bonuses and buffs, such as increased HP and increased special bar, additional lives, and more. Arcade mode is more of the same, with the exception that it removes the overworld and ability to go back to complete levels, and instead handles closer to the original games, where you move on to the next stage once you've completed the current one, and also gives you less lives and no continues, so you'll need to complete this in one go if you want to dive into the game. When it comes to the multiplayer options in Shredder's Revenge, you can play it either local co-op or online, with the game allowing all the way up to 6 players simultaneously. This is something that has not been done in a game in this genre ever, unless you count Guardian Heroes, which didn't have online in the 90s, and does it so well with an amazing netcode that it's just seamless and smooth, even with all the chaos that's happening everywhere. What I like about the 6-player functionality is that the game adjusts its difficulty to adapt to the number of players, so the type of the Foot Clan that you encounter will vary. Now, speaking of difficulty, there are 3 different difficulties on this game, but it's not by default. If you're looking at the standard normal difficulty, this game is not very hard at all. Although, if you're not familiar with beat 'em ups or the genre is not your forte, it can be a little challenging, but I would say generally this is not a hard game. This game is honestly such a love letter to the longtime Turtles fans, and is just a great starting point for newer gamers with tons of replay value. Now, graphically, this game is an evolution of what we saw in Turtles in Time with a modern twist, making it seem similar to games like Scott Pilgrim, Fight and Rage, and River City Girls, instead of the more highly visual Streets of Rage 4. Yet, that doesn't mean that this game doesn't look good, as it does. The game fits the visual aesthetics of it mirroring the original cartoon in older games. Each of the characters are highly animated and fluid in all that they do, and you'll see a lot of their moves are cameos to other games, such as the earlier mentioned Chun-Li moves for April and Raphael, who has Soul Bad Guy of Guilty Gear's Volcanic Viper, and Casey Jones, who has Halmaru of Samurai Showdown's Renting Tremor Slash, and so on. All the Foot Clan and their respective major villains all look incredible and are a massive step up in presentation when compared to their arcade and home console versions from the 80s and 90s. Each of the main villains is animated in a way that showcases their individual personalities and quirks. The environments are all really well detailed and animated, with a lot of what you see being either a full-on callback to the stages from previous entries, entirely new levels, or a literal return from a previous game brought to new life. Not only will you see weather effects like wind and rain, but also dust and more, along with NPCs roaming about and many often interacting with you, such as the monkeys that will throw banana peels at you and your enemies in the zoo level. Now, when it comes to audio, this honestly has to be one of the best OSTs in not only the beat 'em up genre, but also in modern gaming, as listening to this will make you feel like you got in a DeLorean and went back in time to the 80s and 90s with how everything sounds. The first level's theme is such a nostalgia rush that will remind you of Turtles in Time that you'll wonder if you stepped into a smoke-filled arcade with a stack of quarters in your hands. One of my favorite themes has to be when you face off against Shredder, as the music is performed by Wu-Tang's Ghostface Killer and Raekwon the Chef, with the beat made by the incredible T-Lo that has that early gangster rap feel that will have you bopping your head, as they basically rap as if they're Shredder and tells you what all Shredder has done and intends to do to the Turtles, with the track called We Ain't Came to Lose. Honestly, let me play you a sample of this track because this is absolutely amazing. I love this track, and you're going to hear why right here.
Nice to meet feature. Now I'm here to beat you with full force, mess up your facial features. Hasta la vista, I'm selling all y'all little Caesars. All y'all stuff your face with is pizza. Pizza crack like a hard-boiled egg on Easter. See these muscles on me? I could beat your teacher. I'll defeat Leonardo, y'all become the weakest. I take off all of your mass and dismantle your features. Shredder, I cross the line like a letter. Smash all of you turtles, put you back together. Indeed, I squish turtles like a tight girdle. Any obstacle, I clear it like a high hurdle. My stomach cringes for all of you fake ninjas. Fighting you are winless, show you what revenge is. Diabolical move, strike with mad vengeance. Ask Splinter, he know I'm coming with bad intentions.
We ain't came to lose. Came to lose. We ain't came to lose. We ain't came to lose. Came to lose. We ain't came to lose.
Wasn't that good? I told you that was a good ass track. So anyway, let's get back to the review. Outside the OST is the fact that the devs were able to bring back all the original voice actors to reprise their roles, of which many haven't done in 30 years nearly. And it honestly brings such a level of authenticity to this game. Hearing Cam Clark step back into the role of Leonardo is absolutely outstanding, especially when he's more famously known as being the voice of Metal Gear's Liquid Snake and the voice of Ryudo from Grandia 2. The sound design is also amazing in that every hit, slash, explosion, and more all sound meaty and punchy. Pounding the Foot Clan sounds every bit as painful as it looks, such as slamming them into the ground or throwing them into the screen. It's all just perfect. Now, you're probably curious about what downsides this game has, and honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, this game doesn't have any downsides. Now, granted, that could be my nostalgia talking or the fact that I'm an 80s kid who grew up as a massive fan of the Ninja Turtles, and I used to go to the arcades and play all the Ninja Turtle games. I remember, going to like Chuck E. Cheese's and playing the Ninja Turtle games because you couldn't go to a Chuck E. Cheese and there not be a Ninja Turtles game there. And I also remember going to Blockbuster and constantly renting Turtles in Time and Hyperstone Heist, to the point that I could have eventually bought them, which I eventually did. And that was just an era. Like, if I understand the modern generation is used to the shooter and the cinematic, AAA movie style of game, but when you came up in the 80s and 90s, man, gaming was such experimental and just an amazing place to be. And I missed that. And this right here, like I said, I could be looking at this with rose tinted, although these are not rose tinted, glasses and nostalgia. But to me, this game is perfect. I didn't run into any issues with it. I didn't have any technical hiccups or any issues like that. This game was just flawless through and through, and I absolutely loved it. So for me, this is a perfect game. No issues. I have no complaints about this game. Now, getting into the wrap up, when it's all said and done, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is the greatest of love letters to longtime Turtles fans and gives so much more than anything that we could have ever asked for. It's honestly a situation where developers covered everything that we could want with enough nostalgia to bring a lot of us back to simpler times, while also adding enough modern innovations that set this game ahead of basically every brawler that has ever come out in the last 30 years. And it's honestly a toss-up between this, Streets of Rage 4, Fighting Rage, and to an extent, River City Girls is the best in the genre in the modern era, if not of all time. With incredibly easy pick up and play controls, insane amounts of depth in the combat and mechanics, an outstanding soundtrack, excellent voice actors, and near limitless replay value that will have you coming back over and over, make Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge one of the absolute best games of 2022 and a true return of the legendary Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. If you're looking for a game to dive into, then this is exactly what you need to be playing. Do whatever you need to in order to get this game today. The verdict: go out, buy this game right now, stop watching this video. You need to pick this up and play it. And also, something I forgot to say, it has crossplay. Yeah, so doesn't matter what you play it on, you can play it with your friends. Go get this game today. And that's it. That's the review for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Again, big mahalo to Tribute Games as well as DotEmu for providing a review copy of the game. I absolutely loved it. I have no issues with it. I can't wait to really get back to playing this because this is honestly my favorite game right now. And with that being said, I want to know what you guys think. What do you think of Shredder's Revenge? Did you enjoy it? Did it live up to the hype? Did it exceed everything you thought it could possibly be? Are you having a great time with it, or are you let down? And do you prefer something like the fan-made Retropalooza, or the game you can find in, you know, various arcades now that it's okay, it's not bad, but it's not this. It's not Turtles in Time. Whatever your thoughts are, let's go ahead and get the conversation going in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this content, make sure you like the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already. That way you can stay up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes from this channel. And if you want to pick up a physical copy of this game, which will be coming out later on, I will leave links to that down below, as well as the Cowabunga collection. So make sure you go check those out as well. So all that being said, I hope you guys have a blessed and aloha rest of your day. I got to get up out of here and get back to playing this game. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay safe, be blessed, be easy, and I'll see you. Peace. Mahalo for making it to the end of the video. And if you found anything of importance or substance that you gained from watching this, make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel and ding the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all the content that you get from my channel, from podcasts, streams, reviews, impressions, reactions, and so much more. If you want to support what we do have channel memberships. We've got Patreon, we've got Subscribestar, as well as coffee, which I would love to be drinking some coffee right now, which I am. That's some good coffee. But anyway, we got all of that, and we also have merch on Teespring and TeePublic, so make sure you go check that out. And all that being said, I just hope to see you in the next video that I put out. So hey, see you around.